See it, Bucky.
And it's another Wednesday night, and we are here around the old table, the old
fireplace,
sur la table.
the old chestnut.
I mean, don la table. What is it, sir or don?
Don's
Under the table.
ouvrir la fenêtre.
Ouvrir la fenêtre. We're an equal language, bilingual French Canadian thing
Catatonic.
here. Catatonic, spasmodic. Welcome to String Theory. Myself, J.P. Cormier, my buddy Chris Coote.
Howdy.
The lovely Ginger is in the house. Ahoy.
Ahoy.
And yeah. So we'll just shout out to our partners who have put up with us now for 4 years and continue to send me things to review, and they still speak to me, which is
amazing.
Yeah,
We've lost very few, actually.
Yeah, we really haven't lost that many.
No.
I don't think, maybe one.
Yes.
Because they died, or
They
whatever.
died.
Or something. Boucher Guitars, Levy's, G&G Music, Citadel Music, Brickhouse Guitars, K&K Gallagher, who I'm going to be with next week, live at the Station Inn in Nashville, next Thursday and Friday night, I think it is. Recording King, Alvarez Yeri, St. Louis Music. Just launched the J.P. Cormier model Yeri guitar. Yamaha, in partnership with them, launching all the new FG9s. And there's more to come. Some clinics in Ontario in 2 weeks with those guys.
Nice.
James Martin Instruments in Kilkenny. Close Guitars, about to launch their mandolin with us, which is an impressive instrument. And so, yeah, then we have to also make sure that we don't play anything we're going to get dinged for there.
You don't want to get done.
Yeah, Dr. Dam is coming on there.
Yeah.
Cody Guitars, Orangewood Guitars, D'Addario, The Arc, Apollo Picks, Epiphone, Gibson. Probably see those boys next week. Blue Chip Picks. Tone Slab!
But
LR Bags. Yes, sir. The new hi-fi system.
legendary.
Legendary. Maestro, Hosen Guitars. Hosen Young. He's the man. George Crackett, my buddy in Albany, New York. Emerald Guitars. All the way over in Ireland there, making the best artisan carbon fiber instruments in the world. Nova Scotia SPCA. Charmed Life Picks. Picker's Grip. Can't do much without Picker's Grip.
No.
I have mine right by me all the time, and one in my case. It is the grippiest.
Picker.
Yeah, when you have this, they look at you and go, "You one grippy son bitch, ain't you?"
Did you just pick your grip?
Yeah, did you just pick that grip?
Don't forget the
Grip that
TARDIS.
pick? The TARDIS.
Yeah.
Flameng, David Flameng of Green, Iowa, and the Tone Traveler by Dr. Herringbone. Also the maker of these fine picks. These 8-ball caissons, which I love dearly. Love these picks. Anyhow, so that's it.
That's it. We're here.
All that we can say now is
Welcome.
to String Theory. Here's John and Chris and Ginger. And there you go.
There we have it.
That's about all you need to know.
Here we are.
How are you doing?
Good.
It's
What's the
beautiful.
question?
It's beautiful weather.
Let's wrap this up. What's the question?
How long is a string?
Any string?
Any string.
That's the question. How long is a string? So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff going on. I'm fixing to head out on the road.
I wish I was coming with you and Dave
I wish
on
you
that.
were too. I'm leaving on the road tomorrow morning, and I won't be back for about 3 weeks. So we'll be potentially not with you unless I have a Wednesday night off on the road. I will do this from the hotel somewhere.
You and Dave.
Yeah, he'll be with me.
Sweet meat on the street.
I think actually the Wednesday night we arrive in Nashville next Wednesday. We're off.
You're gonna have to do a remote.
I did last time.
Why don't you do a remote from like Jack's Barbecue or something?
Well, no, I got a 220-year-old log cabin I stayed with my buddy Mac Farmer.
Yeah,
And that's where we did it last time.
but you should do it at Jack's Barbecue and go over the menu.
Yeah, but then they'd throw us out for
free advertising for them.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm just happy to be alive.
Well, small victories.
Yes.
Yeah, just keep working at it. Yep.
So, yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. Head on the road.
Yep.
At the station end next Thursday and Thursday and Friday. There's a bunch of stuff on the weekend. Boucher Guitar's going with me. Gallagher's going with me to all these gigs. And we head out of there. Dave flies to New York to play the City Winery.
Okay.
One of the biggest folk venues in
Yep.
the world. And then we meet up in Ontario. There's going to be 3 clinics for Yamaha, so stay tuned for that. I'll be putting it on Facebook and on here where we're going to be. It's going to be crazy. We're promoting the FG9 series and some
Robin
new
is going
well.
to Robin and Guillaume, or just Robin?
Robin and Guillaume both going to Nashville.
Are you going to have a big guitar summit at Gallagher, and they're going to be there too?
Yeah,
Nice.
They're having this summit at the station inn.
Nice.
So we're going to have Gallagher and Boucher set up side by side at the station inn.
That's
by
a
the
party.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be deadly.
Yeah.
Gallagher will be presenting me with my JP Cormier signature model, which apparently every meaningful flat picker in the U.S. has played but me.
Well, they just want to make sure that the quality goes in before the
It
name
went
goes
to
on.
It went to Merlefest.
Yeah.
So like everybody that was there played the guitar.
Yeah.
Everybody played the guitar. So actually, I hope they left some goddamn notes on it. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to know that you're not her first, but
Right.
do you really care?
I'll be here last. Where did that go?
I don't know.
That went somewhere strange.
It did, but I can't
Turn
say.
corner.
So the first Christian goes to
Neil, it's a highlighted chat from Neil Hudson.
Neil Hudson. Welcome back, buddy.
He's been a member for 39 months.
39 months.
That's a long time. That's like 8 children.
That's a quarter of a life sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just saw some video of the Lightfoot Memorial Concert. Would have loved to hear you do Trilogy. Never heard it done better than your rendition.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what
Say
concert.
thank you.
Not sure what concert he's talking to
Was it
about.
Sympathy Nova Scotia?
No, that's
No.
nowhere online. No.
Okay.
But anyhow, I appreciate the.
I think the one you did here in the studio, maybe?
God knows.
You did a little Lightfoot thing.
But love you. Thank you for saying it. Next.
We have a highlighted chat from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker.
Oh, Sudsy.
How many capos does Gunning go through on a typical touring week?
Oh, in a week, at least 10 to 18.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at least, yeah. The springs just eventually fly out and take out the eye of somebody in the front row.
He ends up cutting through the rubber.
Oh, yeah. Or the springs blow up and stab him in the jugular vein.
Strips he's winding them up and down so much he strips the threads off on the
Oh,
belts.
yeah. The shubs just...
Yeah.
If he winds them so quick they get heat up and melt and like bend, that's the problem, right? And then he has to use like 6 capos at once.
There should be like the equivalent of air miles for how many miles you put on your capo.
Yeah, it's just so that when he plays, there's no bottom end of the guitar. Matter of fact, he fills the bass side of the top with silly putty,
Yeah.
just so it doesn't vibrate at all.
Just to kill any remaining leftover resonance.
the whole guitar is actually full of putty, except for the bottom fifth,
Yeah.
where all the treble is.
Yeah.
That's where he
That's
it
where
matches
the fan
his voice
is to blow
so
the
well.
air out.
Yeah, it matches his voice so well. So when he hits a G chord and sings a high note, like dogs outside the stadium die
Yeah.
of shock. They just vibrate to death. It's like it's like the angel's note.
Poor Dave. We really shouldn't pick on him.
Yeah,
but
we
it is
should.
quite fun.
Fuck Dave. I love Gunning.
Oh, that was nice.
Wow.
That was... Oh, dear.
Did you get the on you?
Wipe that one off.
Pollen, thanks.
Yeah. Because pollen.
Because pollen, Jesus, it's
I
everywhere.
know. I'm taking 2 Claritin every
Oh
morning.
yeah, I'm on every nose
It's like a
spray.
thick coating of everything.
If I sit outside very long, I look at my phone screen.
Yeah.
It's just green.
I couldn't see my windshield when I left the driveway.
I couldn't see my dick when I was outside pissing a minute ago.
There's so much pollen on it.
Yeah. No, my gut.
I'm talking about.
Pollen. Oh, sorry. Right.
Okay.
Next. Sorry.
Off the rails already.
Yeah.
A question from the Happy Knot.
The Happy Cannot.
The Canot.
Any chance of having some violin luthiers featured on the channel? The process is very interesting.
No, because there aren't any. There's it's a dying art, and most violin builders that I know are all arseholes. And they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to discuss anything. They have their trade secrets, and they just like that. The nicest violin builder I ever met was Bob Kogut, who gave me my violin. And the guy he's an amazing human being, but for some reason, a lot of violin builders just aren't very friendly with talking about that, unless they get paid a great deal of money.
It's kind of like
it's like
wrestling a pissed off cat.
It's like a hoity-toity thing, building fiddles. And mind you, it's incredibly difficult. It's way harder than building a guitar.
You wouldn't want to talk to somebody either.
And these guys take it really seriously, and you're just not going to get anybody in here that's going to go, this is how I do it. Because nobody knows how great fiddles are built. They've been trying to find out for 100 years why Stradivarius sounds different than any other maker, right? Mm-hmm. And they haven't figured it out. They've MRI'd it, they've deconstructed it, they've scraped the glue off and put them through a mass chromatospectrograph to find out what's in the it's true.
What is that instrument again?
It's the same thing they use at crime scenes to find out what's in any substance that they find, paint, blood, whatever.
Okay.
It's what it's called. It's a mass chromatograph.
Okay.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it is. But you know what I mean.
It's a thing.
It's
called the mass spec.
Yeah. So that's
like they do on CSI.
That's how hard they've tried to figure out. And the only thing they figured out about Stradivarius is that he used beeswax in his glue.
In his glue.
In his glue. They found pollen as collected by bees and wax in his glue. And they also aged his wood, they know this, by placing it in vats of water filled with rotten fruit and leaving it in the sun for weeks.
Would it ferment?
Yes.
Fermented
and then
wood?
taking it out and kiln drying it after the fermentation has happened.
So was he torrefying it? An early form of torrefaction?
It could be the acid from fermentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the alcohol.
Or the alcohol.
Lignin,
exactly.
Right?
So we don't even know. And it's like, and I'm not being a butthole, but I'm sure there's fiddle builders looking at this. But honest to God, I've met all kinds of fiddle builders, and there's none of them I would play. There's just none. There's some, but that's because fiddle is so subjective, right? It has to be a certain way for a certain player, certain physicality, and it's impossible to find the right one.
Does Doug Sampson ever work on a fiddle, or is he too good for that?
No, Doug does fiddle work. He used to install all of our bags pickups.
Yeah. And
like for instance, I have my Uncle Joe's violin. Mm-hmm. It's a violin. It's a rare violin. It was made in France in the late 1700s. This violin, and I can't play it. I just can't play it. Some of it is emotional. I can't play it because of him. But the other, it's just not me. I can only hear him playing it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel right under my chin. It's an unbelievable violin, but it's not me. So, right? It's weird. The fiddle is really weird that way, and I think that mandolins and banjos are as well. The guitars are more readily generic to players than those other weird offshoot instruments.
Right.
You really have to get
the right
one. Yeah. So yeah, the chances of getting an actual builder in here whose fiddle I would actually play is slim to nil. Yeah. But that's not saying it can't happen. Maybe somebody come along and go, hey, I build fiddles, try this, and they'll blow my face off, and then he comes, right? Because you just never know where you're going to meet the guys building your next instrument. But generally speaking, I've had a difficult time with most of those guys. Because they are a niche. It is a niche thing, right? It's like some great builders in Nova Scotia who I know would never come here are like Otis Thomas and Carmichael, the guy that builds all the violins for the Bear McNeils and different players in Cape Breton. That guy's a genius. So is Otis, right? And the only other guy that I would even remotely consider who would never come here because he's like Stradivarius himself is Johannes Sturm. And I don't even know if we used to call him the German. He did all of our bow rehairs. He built Arthur Muse's violin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of the, and he learned to build violins in the Black Forest in Bavaria. He's from there. And so, like, that's how small the market is. You can only choose, in this part of the world, you can only choose from about 3 or 4 people that you would hold up as going, this is a recognized master violin builder that is played by numerous artists, right? And so, but they're not going to come here.
No.
They don't need to. So, love to them, but they ain't coming here. They laugh at us. They're like, are you kidding me?
I actually have a question for the chat people. Did the audio come through on the intro? Someone could tell me if that worked. I did it differently this time, and I want to know if you could actually hear it.
Yeah, have we been having some weird stuff going on with YouTube and software
No,
updates?
Switcher just updated.
Right. That's what I mean. Is every time they do an update on anything, everything goes.
So I just wanted to make sure that the intro audio came through. So I'll wait for that chat to... Oh, Kenny says yes. Excellent. Great success.
Oh, Kenny.
Yay, Kenny.
Kenny Holden.
Kenny actually has a question.
Okay, Kenny.
Did you keep the latest Boucher from Guitar Stuff with John?
Which one was it? Well, that was the Parlor, right?
That would have been...
I didn't keep any of those guitars. And I'm lying.
And I didn't keep it, and I'm lying.
Yeah, I can't tell you. There's three.
It was the Parlor.
There's 3
yeah.
in the series, and I can't tell you which one I got because it's not been up yet. So you have to wait, and then I'll tell you about it. Anyhow,
So yes.
there was one left here.
You didn't keep the Parlor.
I didn't keep the Parlor. He's building me a Parlor this year, but there was another guitar that he built and with me in mind, and I had no idea. And he brought it here, and we reviewed it. And after I reviewed it, I was like just stunned by it. He said, "Well, I built it for you; it's yours," and left it here. But they took it with them because they hadn't photographed it.
Yeah.
And it's a prototype. It's the only one like it. They've never done it before, so they had to take it back to Berthier-sur-Mer to photograph it to put it in the catalog.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pick it up on my way home from this tour, and then you'll see it. But you'll see it before then anyway, because all the reviews are up and ready to go. They're going to come every
For
Monday
those
night.
3,
so
yeah.
we're doing 3 Boucher weeks in a row, just because I love it.
Nice.
So cool. Next.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Good.
Stephen Becker.
Glad that Gallagher worked out all the bugs in JP Cormier number 1, so mine can be perfect.
Yeah.
This is what my son says about me having a Gallicaster number 2.
Yeah. Oh no, they're going to be awesome. They've already sold. I mean, they don't even have mine. They sold 3 or 4 of them already. It's just like, and it's the same thing as the Yeri. Like the Yeris, that thing. I know there's 20 or 30 of those going to be gone by the end of the summer, because it's a bigger manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with this. The JP model Boucher is the best-selling guitar they ever built. I don't know what it is about you guys, but whatever the hell, I don't know. Thank you, Jesus. Every time I put my name on a guitar, out the door she goes. Now we got to start working on Yamaha.
Yeah.
Yamaha is like the biggest music corporation in the world, but they need to build a JP guitar. They should just build a cheap-ass one. One that's like, no, seriously.
Like a $600 one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They should build an $800
asphalt shingles.
because you know how good that guitar would be.
It would be great.
It would be incredible if they bought it. If they built an $800, their factory guitars and did some strange thing with it that's easy to do over and over again.
Adorned with artificial mother of toilet seat.
Yes, and possibly like Donair sauce stains on it.
And some big cowboy boots on the pit guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they
Big old
should.
hat
They
somewhere.
totally should.
Yeah, hat.
Because I got every
cactuses.
price range that I want.
Yeah.
Boucher down to Yeri.
Except for...
What we need is the sub $1,000 guitar with my name on it. And Yamaha's the easy choice.
You could just buy a bunch of Yamahas
and just gouge my name at the top.
just Sharpie it and
Yeah.
then lacquer over
Gouge
it.
it in.
Yeah, no, I just gouged it like Bill Monroe signed in Marty Stewart's Manly.
Yeah,
Bill Monroe with a
Yeah.
penknife.
there
Just
you
right.
go.
Oh yeah.
It's a JP Cormier signature.
There you
model
go.
right
There's a JP Cormier signature model, bitch. How about that?
Kenny says it should be called the JP BFG9.
BFG9.
Big friggin' guitar.
Yeah, big friggin' guitar 9. Yeah.
Or big friggin' gorilla. Can you clarify, Kenny?
It
Git.
can be whatever you think it means.
Get it?
Super chat from Jasper North.
Hey, Jasper. Happy Wednesday.
Is your voice better with mahogany or rosewood?
What's that now?
It's is your voice better with mahogany or rosewood? I guess do you sound better?
I don't pay attention to that because my voice sucks.
I
So
can
it doesn't
I
matter.
can agree with that.
It doesn't matter what kind of guitar I use; it's going to sound like shit.
I didn't want to say anything,
So-
but since you're bringing it up,
It's the guitar. The guitars is
I can
it's
expand on that
covering
for
the
you.
voice. Whatever guitar is going to get it over my voice, that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to play.
Feedback tends to help.
Yeah,
you as
yeah,
well.
or just a good punch in the larynx. Connect.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker. He's a wordy bastard tonight.
He's on it tonight. He's on us.
He's getting sassy already. I know as you loves the wood. Can you talk about what different woods do in different guitars?
This is a question from like week 2.
Yeah, I've done all this
He's
before.
what is he up to?
But
He's, just
I can just tell you what the main ones are, which are rosewood, mahogany, and maple.
Mm-hmm.
So rosewood is dark and fat, maple is thin and piercing and like sub-bottomy, depending on what the body size
Muffle
is.
and hiss.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
mahogany is a cross between the two.
Mm-hmm.
It has the warmth of rosewood and the top end penetration of maple,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why mahogany is my favorite wood.
Because it's kind of like a
It's
do-all.
it's got
Yeah.
it's a Swiss Army knife of
Yeah.
tone wood.
Yeah.
So yeah, then if you're getting into other things, that all just becomes subjective bullshit. So, and people wanting rare woods because they're rare.
Did you know that
Right.
the mango bubbly's back?
It's always been. Every time you walk in here, you get a can of that shit, and you're going, "It's back." It never left.
It was gone.
You
for, it was
fuzzy
gone for a
faced
minute.
bastard.
It
Listen
was
to her.
gone for a minute.
Sorry.
Listen to her.
What?
It did leave.
It
What?
did leave, and then Chris bought all of it when it came back.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it keeps going away, because you buy 60 cases of it.
I don't want to get caught short. I like to stay hydrated.
You probably get caught short
I get all,
half
I get
your
all
life.
ashy. I get all ashy if I'm dehydrated.
You get caught short, all right. Your website.
This is a family show. Ginger, discipline him.
Connect.
A question from Roger Truesdale.
That's
Roger
new.
Truesdale? No, it's not. He's been here before.
What? That's new.
Roger Truesdale's been here before.
Who am I talking to here? She's the one looking at it. Is he new? No.
If he's not new, it's definitely rare.
Okay.
Welcome back, Roger.
Thank you, buddy.
He says, I have a Gretsch Jim Dandy. Love the tone. Will a K&K capture the tone? I want to gig with it for blues.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Why
K&K
not?
captures the tone of anything you put it in. So,
Right from the bridge plate.
because it's just like a microphone.
Yeah.
So is whatever the guitar sounds like,
Except if
it's what it sounds like plugged in. You may need to chop some high end off and add a bit of bottom, but after you've done that, it's just like sitting in front of a microphone with no feedback because there's no mic. It's just 3 sensors. So it definitely does capture all, because that's all I use. I got every guitar I own either has a K&K or an SGI in it,
or an LR bags.
or an LR Bags
Yeah.
now, because they all 3 of those things capture the sound of the guitar.
And
with
some
no
manufacturers
feedback.
are just putting them in as stock. The
Yeah.
bags ones now.
Yeah,
The high
and the K&K.
Yeah.
Boucher puts them in.
Yeah.
Yeri's putting all hi-fi.
Yeah.
All of Roger's guitar has
SGI.
SGI.
Mm-hmm.
So like sensor pickups are the way to go. There's no battery. There's no bullshit.
Good output.
Good hot output.
Yeah.
And away you go.
Nothing to move around in the guitar or get jangled loose or anything like that.
And I recently played my guitar. It was either a K&K or an SGI. I don't remember which one, but either way, it's the same difference. But I had to play it on a huge award show thing, and it couldn't bring, because it's plug and play and heavy production, like a huge crew of people on TV and everything else. couldn't bring the amp.
Mm-hmm.
So we just put it through an active DI, and holy shit, it sounded better than it does through my amp.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it, how good that guitar sounded.
I actually like them through a passive DI because I think that the transformer works well to take some of the edge off
Yeah.
of
Well,
the top
this was
end.
a radial
Yeah.
active. And
It still had a transformer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was active. It was unbelievable. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell the difference between the guitar coming out of the monitors and the guitar acoustically.
Right.
It was scary. And I kept looking at Dave and said, "Are you hearing this?" He goes, "Yeah." So it sounds even, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything Dave says is preceded by. Next. I love you, Dave. He's probably not watching.
No.
I always say this shit just hoping he's watching.
He
right?
never is, though.
He never does. But his kids do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Judd watches. Gus watches it. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Next.
We have a question from George Grasso.
George Grass.
That's new.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. How you doing, George?
Welcome back,
Welcome,
George.
welcome in, everybody. You're in trouble now.
Yep.
You're right in the pit with us.
Interested in the Emerald guitars. What's your opinion of the volume acoustically? Would it hold up to an Irish tune session?
Oh hell yeah!
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they're just as loud as anything. That's the incredible thing about those guitars is that they sound just as good acoustically as they do plugged in.
Yeah.
They get better slightly plugged in, but not much. They sound like a wooden guitar, and they're loud, and they hit you right in the face with the sound holes in the upper shoulder of the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I see people use them in Irish sessions all the time online
It's like
because
a
they're
built-in
from Ireland.
monitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're from Ireland, and they're incredibly percussive and lots of wood, which is so weird to say because there's
Yeah.
no wood in them. But they're just woody and bright and punch, punch all day long. You can hit them as hard as you want, and they never cack. So, yeah, you can't go wrong. Emerald is making that's a cutting edge technology what they're doing, and it's well thought out. It's very science. It's very math.
Hmm.
The guy that's designed that company used to build the bodies for McLaren racers, and he knows everything
Because
about carbon
why?
fiber. Because science.
Because science.
It's all science.
Because
all
why,
of it.
Ginger?
Because math.
Because math.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't go wrong. They're not cheap, but it doesn't matter because you buy one that's gonna last you. It'll last 1,000 years.
A high-tech boutique guitar.
Yeah, 1,000 years. There's no stopping them.
Or more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, your great grandkids will be in fucking wheelchairs with no legs and still playing that guitar.
When the sun envelops the solar
That's
system.
right. That's right. When the
That
black
guitar
hole
will still be ringing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last G chord you played will
Yeah.
just be the last thing that happens in the universe
Yeah.
as the Big Bang reverses and just goes down to nothing. There'll be an emerald guitar playing right there. And that'll be it. And then God, we just go around.
What is
Well,
wrong
what happened to
with us?
everything? Do I have to do this shit again?
But damn, that's a nice sounding emerald
But
guitar.
what is that guitar?
Good next?
Hey, look. God has a sense of humor. He wouldn't have made my ass.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't have saved my life a couple times.
But I'll tell you one thing right now. You know what we should talk about? We need to talk.
Wait, just draw that sentence out for a second.
Bored
We'll
maybe
need
we
to
should
talk
Okay.
about.
Proceed.
Are you ready now?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about Master Music Method.
Isn't it Master?
At Master Music Method, we won't make promises we can't keep. Remove the time between breakthroughs and practice the right things to get the right results. Learn the why behind the how, while the lecturers teach you to teach yourself. Experience the Master Music Method. So there you go. That's we are doing a major drive to sign up students. We're ready for you. Stephen Baker's over in Sweden, and he is building the site out to exactly what we dream of it being. It's working. Everything's up. You can take lessons now. There's new features coming in all the time. So it's $25 a month Canadian, and you get discount if you take a whole year. It's $20 US discount if you take a whole year. And because people are going into it, there's lots of people there now. But because we're now on a big drive to build it out and get all the new features, tablatures, all the things that have to be done this year, we're giving us. Baker wants to do a special offer. So if you sign up and you go in there and you find a bug or something that doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and you send a support ticket to Steve, because he answers every single one of them as soon as they come in. Send a ticket over to Steve, tell him what's wrong, you get 2 free months.
Oh, nice.
Anybody who finds a bug and helps us locate it, and fixes it, 2 free months, bang, just like that.
Just unless it's a feature, not a bug.
Well, yeah. You can't say, well, there's no whatever.
Blah, blah.
But if there's a problem with something working and you can't find this that we don't know about, because it's going to happen, and it's a huge site.
That's mastermusicmethod.com.
Mastermusicmethod.com. Mastermusicmethod.com.
Twice your notes back if you're not satisfied.
That's correct. If you don't like it, we'll
give you twice
I'll
your
teach
notes
you.
back.
I'll teach you to play 3 times faster.
Yeah, free kazoo lesson.
Yeah. So there's a lot of features coming up. There's a ton of features coming up. Full tablature, monthly online live meetings with the students. We're developing a platform for that. In other words, we're just going full hog on this. So just in the last couple of weeks, Baker has done an immense amount of work on the site. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. More content, more everything. So get in there.
And it's up for guitar,
Fiddle, mandolin, banjo.
and banjo.
As a matter of fact, we just found out a couple of days ago that banjo wasn't showing up. It's there.
Oh.
But
Really?
So whoever did that is going to get 2 free months.
Right on.
So yeah, it's those sort of things. So it's up and working. It works. It's there. Get in there. Get on the ground floor. There's enough material there now to keep you busy for 8-9 months at least. So by the time you're done with all of that stuff, there'll be a whole other year in front of you.
Your monthly subscription is unlimited use.
Yes, unlimited use.
Yeah. Corey
Canadians-
McCormick says free lifetime membership if we find the picture of Steven in the tub, right?
That's right. If you can find the thumbnail of Baker in the tub with his iPad and his rubber duck, you get lifetime membership.
Playing at the submarine races.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Mastermusicmethod.com.
Mastermusicmethod.com.
Check it out. And now, next. It's a great segue into a Geek Speak with Mr. Coot.
What is it?
Geek Speak. Nerd Turd.
Nerd turd? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't change the title card yet.
No,
so
we're going to keep Geek Speak, but we're going to have Nerd Turd.
call it
We kind of call it nerd turd all the time.
Yeah, Nerd Turd. But turd is spelled T-E-R-D.
Turd. Turd. Not turd.
Nerd Turd.
Not turd. Turd.
Yeah, Nerd Turd.
I'm about to drop a nerd turd.
Nerd Turd.
Turd. What are we talking about?
We are talking about today guitar scale length.
Right.
Lay it on us.
This is going to open up a whole can of worms.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be the rest of the night doing this. We're here till midnight.
We've been discussing this today, and this is going to be...
I learned a metric crap ton from you today.
Well, you just learned a little math.
It opened a lot of... as a guitar player, you don't think about these things.
Unless you're gunning.
And, no, he doesn't think about these things either.
He's not sentient.
Here's the deal. All kinds of guitar players everywhere all make statements about their mathematical preferences in guitars. And I know for certain fact that they don't even know why they're doing it. They're only going with something they heard somebody they admire say, and then they go with that. And they often screw themselves because they might be better served by finding their own way through what they like, whether it's 14 fret, 12 fret, 25 and a half scale, other scale, string gauge, like all these things that people just go, well, yeah, I prefer medium gauge, Martin medium gauge, 25.4 scale and a D28's all I'll play. But the reason they say those things, they're spouting the numbers because they want to to look like they know what they're doing, but they're actually just following the lead of somebody they admire. Meanwhile, there might be a guitar out there that is way better suited for them, with a different string gauge, a different scale, a different body size, all this stuff. And people get tied into these rituals, right? I've been preaching this for 4 years. These rituals where they close the doors to experimenting with everything else. And that's where people make the mistake.
Yeah.
But you're going to explain a lot of things here tonight that I've played, like I've dealt with this stuff all my life, but never realized the math and science behind any of it.
Because, and that's what's great to me about this, since we've been doing this, it only backs up how you look at things from an artistic point of view. I look at things from a scientific point of view, from a math and physics point of view, because I'm not a musician or an artist. And we're teaching each other stuff. Yeah. And it's pretty darn cool.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
So let's start us off.
All right. So scale length.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about scale length. And I think we confused ourselves and then unconfused ourselves.
Yeah.
And
well, you taught me something I had
idea.
Never thought of.
Yeah.
So, and it actually opened a lot of doors for me as to what I have my preferences.
Yeah.
Now I know why.
And this
makes total
sense.
sense.
This is going to open the rabbit holes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we were in the worst dogfight we've ever been in.
Yeah.
We got the training aids. So, scale length of guitar is defined as the distance from the fretboard edge of the nut at the top of the fingerboard to where the string contacts the saddle.
So where the string comes off the nut and off the saddle.
And onto the saddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That length is the scale length of the guitar.
Yeah. And
most modern guitars that we're dealing with, be they acoustic or electric, there's kind of two main scale lengths that are like 95% of what's out there. So there's 24 and 7/8, and these measurements are not to the thousands, they're just kind of standard numbers. Yeah. And 25.5 inches. So just under an inch in the difference between the two scale lengths.
And for instance, Martin is all 25.4.
Right.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 25.48.
25.4 is every Martin, except for their parlors.
Yeah.
But every other guitar, that's the scale that they use on every guitar.
Right. And bass guitars, mandolins, banjos, ukuleles, every stringed instrument has a scale length.
Yeah.
They can all be different. And you could have a guitar with a 35-inch scale length if you wanted, or a 20-inch scale length if you wanted. But there's reasons for the standards, the standard stuff that you generally see, right? And even fiddles and non-fretted instruments have scale lengths, which is kind of cool. And you're fretting it, based upon your ear and motor memory, right? Which is cool. So the math and physics of it is that the scale length directly relates to the placement of each fret on the fingerboard. And there's a formula that's used that lays out the position of each fret as it moves down the fingerboard.
Right.
Okay? And generally speaking, again, not exactly, that formula uses the breaking edge of the nut where the string leaves the nut.
Yep.
You take the total scale length, you divide it by 18, give or take. It's not exactly, it's 17 and change.
Yes.
And that result, away from the top, the fretboard side of the nut is where the first fret goes.
Yeah.
And then you would take the remaining distance from that first fret, the leftover scale length, divide it by 18 again. Yeah. That gives you the placement of the second fret. Yeah. And you just keep doing that down the line.
That's why they get closer together the further you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
crazy.
That's essentially how you get the frets placed. It's also how, if you're, say, replacing a bridge and a saddle on a guitar, you need to know what the scale length of the guitar is,
Yeah.
so you know where to place the bridge and the saddle.
Yeah.
And it leads
so the intonation will still be good after you put the new bridge and saddle on.
right, so that the saddle is intonated properly, it's compensated properly, and this is where all these rabbit holes
Yeah.
pop up
Yeah,
because
there's a whole
of
other
circle of
conversation
fifths
Yeah.
and stuff, and that's for later shows. So, what this gives us in this standard formula is our instruments. We use what's called a Western scale. So the smallest difference between a note is a semitone.
That's
for
right.
for us. A lot of Eastern
Use
instruments
quarter tones.
use quarter tones. Yeah, but the standard Western scale, 8 notes.
Yep.
That's an octave. If you go from A all the way up through G and then A again, that's a doubling of the pitch,
Yep.
or an octave above,
Right.
right? And that, if you kind of look at that math, that means that every string on a guitar, can actually play 2 octaves.
Yep.
Now, it's not fretted all the way up,
No.
but you showed me the cool trick today, which is fretless,
Yeah.
right? To do with the harmonics, you can not only play the 12th fret
Yep.
harmonically, not by pushing down and dividing the string, but by JP will demonstrate.
So on a guitar, you have the 12th fret harmonic, which is the dead center between the nut and the saddle.
Right. You're dividing the string in half.
It's the dead center of
Yeah.
the string. That's why the harmonic appears there.
So if you play an open A on that guitar, and now you play the harmonic at the 12th fret,
It's an octave higher.
it's an octave higher,
right.
right? And if you play the fifth,
It's another octave above that.
the 5th fret harmonic, right? And also
And then here's the cool one that we were talking
that
about.
we're talking about, yeah,
The 7th fret harmonic is actually the 5th chord of whatever you're doing, right?
So you're dividing the string into thirds
Right.
by playing that.
So this is A. Here's your A, and your 5th would be an E chord. If your A is at the 5th and 12th.
Yeah, 5th.
There's E chords at the 7th.
So just do the 5th,
Right.
with the A 5th,
Yep.
and the 12th, and then the
And then the-
next,
And the same exact set of harmonics
Yeah.
appear here as well.
right. And doing it in the sound hole, you're dividing the string
So
into
that is the
a
exact
quarter.
center
Yeah.
between the 12th and
Yeah.
the saddle.
And then this is
Right.
dividing it again in half again into
Yep.
quarters.
Yep.
And every time you divide it into quarters, the frequency is doubled, right?
It's crazy.
So grab your guitar again.
Oh.
On a standard tuned guitar,
Yep.
and a lot of people like the numbers. These numbers are more my
They're
wheelhouse.
They're mathematic. They're frequency,
Yeah.
real frequency numbers, right?
So that guitar is tuned to standard E, A,
Yeah.
D, G, B, E, and each string is the following frequency. So the low E is 82 hertz,
82.
110 for the A, 147,
Yep.
196,
Yep.
247,
Yep.
and the high E 330.
Yep.
Right? Why is that, Ginger?
Because math.
It's because of math.
Because of
right?
math.
But it all works out. If you were playing the A 110 hertz,
Yeah.
and you half the string, it doubles the frequency,
Yeah, it becomes 220.
220, and then
Half
when
it again becomes 440.
440, which is
Where
A440.
everybody tunes to.
concert standard pitch,
Yeah.
right? Or standard concert pitch,
Actually, that's a rabbit hole too.
because
it's 440.
right.
Concert is
4
432.
right,
Hitler moved it to 440.
Yeah.
To make it scarier.
right.
The Germans changed all of that for us. It's true.
Rabbit
it's
hole
really
after
true.
rabbit
Yeah, it's
hole
such
after
a-
rabbit hole, right?
That's why guitar is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done that. Guitars with a longer scale length, and
Yeah.
this was like kind of
This was the rub.
yeah. The longer the string length,
Yeah.
so the longer the scale length, and we're just talking about an open string on an instrument,
Yeah.
the higher the tension has to be to get it to play in standard tuning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the higher the tension, the less playability is generally exhibited because to fret it, you're pressing the string down at that's a higher tension to get it to move.
Yeah.
And also when you're bending notes.
Big time problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So with scale length, generally a shorter scale length is perceived to be more playable, easier playability of the instrument, and it's warmer because the strings are floppier. They're not under so much tension, so they resonate further. They're floppier.
Now here's where things get weird with that concept, and this is what we rubbed on a lot.
Yeah.
So this guitar has a 25.5
Yes.
scale, right?
Right.
But it has a 12 fret neck, which causes the bridge to be further into the sound field of the soundboard here.
Yeah. Into the middle.
If this was a 14 fret neck, the bridge would be up here.
Right, because
vibrating less of this.
Right, you'd be pulling the body down from the neck.
So the 12 fret neck creates this amazing concert of mathematics where you've got this beautiful neck, but the bridge is back here in the sweet spot of the soundboard.
It's driving the soundboard.
Yeah. So that's why I love 12 fret necks, because and they feel easier to play. But I have no idea why that is.
And that was one of our other that was one of our other things that didn't make sense today, because
it could be just an illusion because there's so much bottom.
There's no physics behind why it should feel
every 12 fret guitar I've ever played just feels awesome.
Right.
Right? It just feels incredible because maybe it's because there's more flex in the top where that bridge is sitting, which frees the string somehow under your hands, as opposed to being so rigid sitting between in the waist where it usually sits on a dreadnought. Right? It's hard to tell. It's hard to figure that one out. But
so that's a whole other subject.
That's another rabbit hole, right?
And one of the scale length and looking at how the saddle is never straight across. The saddles are always on a bit of an angle or a tilt. Sometimes. Yeah. And this isn't getting into fan fretted guitars or all this stuff. But because we have thirds and fifths and sevenths in music, because our scale goes semitone to get a tone. Right? And tone, semitone, tone, semitone, because there's 8 notes in our scale. The math isn't perfect.
No.
And that's why the saddle needs the string lengths, the scale length isn't even across all the strings. When you're talking about like a 25.5 or a 24.7.
And that's a whole other rabbit hole concerning intonation.
Right, which is something else entirely, because not only is the saddle put on at a bit of an angle, you can have a compensated saddle, and on electric guitars, you intonate, you have adjustable saddles.
Each individual string.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of rabbit holes that spread out from this, but that is just the basics and the simplest.
This is the basic Einstein science right there behind why it's done, how it's done.
Yeah.
But another amazing thing to me is that when we started looking at all the differences between the different companies using the scales that they use, the difference is minute.
Yeah.
I'm talking about millimeters, right? And the reason that is, we've decided, is that when somebody decides to use a certain scale length on any guitar, they're only thinking about one thing. How does this scale length, where does that put the bridge, and how does the bracing work with that, right? So that's the reason that they would use some other minute diversion.
It's a tool that can be used to voice the guitar.
Exactly. So wherever the hot spot is in the top, and wherever they're going to put the braces on that soundboard, and the bridge plate on that soundboard, they're thinking, okay, well, it needs to be right here, because this will be the hot spot created by bracing and voicing of the top, like thinning of, like when I say voicing, like guys like Hosen, they literally take a top and hold it above their head and hit it with a mallet.
Robin, right?
Robin does too. And then they literally take a hand chisel and shave off like onion skin thin pieces of the wood to make it livelier where they know the sound is. And they tune the top
Right.
by removing material from the inside, right? So that's why they're thinking, they get used to using a certain scale, like Robin does all 25 and a half.
But it becomes a constant for them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So companies like Taylor, they use multiple scales because they're using computers to
Right.
build these guitars.
Well, and if you have a parlor guitar travel guitar,
yeah,
where you want it compact,
Yeah.
it's got a much shorter scale.
exactly.
Right?
But it's all relative.
And the tension
It works the same way as everything
it's
else.
all relative.
Right? Yeah.
Guitars aren't pretty when you really look at it.
No.
Because there's so many damn variables that go into making a guitar sound like it sounds, and even to the point where the different gauges of string have an effect on intonation
Oh yeah.
and playability.
Yeah.
Right?
Because the core of the string, as you said today, I love that too. When the string is sitting over the saddle, the core is not touching the saddle.
No?
It's
the wrap.
it's interrupted by the winding.
Yeah.
And the winding's different sizes on every string. And then when you get to that B string,
And the core is a different size.
yes.
Yeah.
And when you get to the B string, it's the first time in the set that there's no winding.
Right.
And it's tuned to a third instead of a fifth. So that's why you have to have the compensated B strings.
Yeah.
And the E string can stay in line because it's a twin of
Right.
another note.
And
right?
just fretting that big wrapped string.
yeah, takes it
It's-
as sharp,
Right, takes it sharp.
right?
Right?
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much science in this.
There's
It's
so much math.
ridiculous. How
There's so much
math.
math in this.
How
It's
much
a wonder
math.
it all works, right?
Yeah, and it's a wonder when you just pick up a guitar and it blows your head off,
Right.
and you go, "This is the best guitar I ever played." What the hell was behind that?
And
right?
for somebody like you with perfect pitch,
yeah,
you hear minute differences when a guitar is out of tune or
yeah,
maybe
that's a problem, right?
right. Whereas other people would hear you playing that guitar and it could be out of tune. It might be driving you nuts while you're playing it.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody's sitting there shitting their diaper, happy as a
Well,
clam, thinking that sounds
I'm
great.
just going to say this, but hey, I'm famous for being this way. I see guys online every day, every fucking day, and they're going, "This guitar sounds great," and they're playing the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And
It'd sound better if you tuned it.
don't let me be guilty of my own complaint. So they're playing the guitar. So I've tempered this,
Yeah.
but they're playing it like this.
Yeah.
That
Ugh.
fucking B string is so sharp.
It hurts my guts.
And you
Yeah.
know why it's sharp? Because they can't hear it. They're using a tuner to tell them what B is.
Right.
But guess what? Tempering requires to lower the B by 1 to 2 cents.
Yep.
And if you can't
1 to
temper
2%
yeah,
of that tone.
of that tone.
Yeah.
So if you can't hear that's now perfectly in tune, that's the only notes that matter. The D has to match the fretted B at the 3rd fret.
Right.
And then open is perfect.
Yeah.
But the tuner will make it like this,
It'll sharpen it.
that much, which is still generally in tune,
Yeah.
but it's enough to, I want to punch somebody when I hear that.
The funny thing is, too, people can acquire listening skills.
Not really.
Yeah, I think they can. You can train your ear.
No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
Of course you can, because I
Yeah.
teach it myself.
Right. You can train
That's
your
the
ear.
whole premise of Master Music Method, is teaching people.
That's mastermusicmethod.com.
.com. That's
and
the
you,
whole.
you do a whole lesson on.
Oh yeah,
tempering,
there's a
don't
whole
you?
Yeah.
lesson on
Yeah.
why you need to
You go, Kim?
to
You go.
listen to what you're doing.
And train your ear
yeah.
to pick up tones, semitones, thirds,
What
fifths.
I was speaking about when I said that was, some of these guys that are on there, they're not ever gonna. They got no chance. They're not gonna train shit because they've been doing it that long. They still
Yeah.
can't tune the guitar. It's no good.
They can't carry
Yeah.
a tune in a bucket.
Yeah, I watch guys like on YouTube. My favorites in the world are the Chapman brothers at the acoustic shop. You want to believe they don't put no goddamn guitars in there with their beast so sharp. You can't even stand it. They know how to temper instruments, right?
And tempering an instrument with a capo on it
Is another thing
is a
altogether.
whole other subject.
Because the whole thing has to be retempered.
Yeah.
Because the big E is going to go sharp. The B is going to go sharp. Potentially the little E, but not as bad. But definitely the big E has to be tempered.
And it's because of the winding.
Because the winding's so heavy.
Yeah.
Right? And fat.
Yeah.
So, good one.
Lots of
That's
new rabbit holes.
That's a wicked good nerd turd.
Never explain anything. Just make more rabbit holes.
That's right.
We're going to be like
This is
White Point Beach
Oh yeah.
Lodge.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
should call them side quests.
Yeah.
side quests.
These are the side quests, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
That was brilliant. Brilliant. A good
It
one.
took 5 minutes on the internet.
I know, but Jesus. I even brought visual aids and
Pilot.
there you
We
go.
need our visual aids.
So, Kirstens.
Can't do nothing if we can't see it.
Right. Kirstens.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Again.
He's suggesting going back to the Yamaha JP Cormier model,
Right.
a Master Music Method model, which is an FG 830 based cutaway slotted headstock, 12 fret body for beginners.
Shit, yeah.
For beginners.
Oh no, that would
brilliant.
work. The 830. Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my, oh my.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
That would be really easy for Yamaha.
What
to
were
do.
we talking about earlier? Oh, having a dreadnought. A 12 fret dreadnought.
Well, that's
Yeah.
an 830 is
Yeah.
a dreadnought.
Yeah.
So if you did an 830 dreadnought with a cutaway and 12 fret body,
Yeah.
and a slotted headstock, and made it a
Yeah.
nice color like red, like a fancy
Because
color for me,
a slotted headstock
also changes everything.
changes everything.
Changes the break angle of the strings going
Over
to the
the nut.
spindles,
Right.
right? So the break angle at both ends becomes equal almost,
Yeah.
which makes a huge difference
In
in
the
tone and
Absolutely.
playability,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that's a good call, Steve. Next.
Super chat from Colin Dolan.
Colin Dolan. Here's to you, boy. I got some
Happy
Bowmore
Wednesday,
right here,
Colin.
buddy.
Isn't it Crown Royal?
No, it's the
No.
last of the Bowmore.
No.
This is Crown Royal. I'm not touching that yet.
I did.
I did. Leave it to you.
He says, "Hi JP. I'm not sure if you ever tried Yamaha's Grand Concert Nylon series.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got a GC32 spruce last week, made in Japan. It's
Yep.
unbelievable and definitely one I'll be keeping."
They're making the bet. Look, Yamaha and Yari both started their careers almost 90 years ago building classical guitars. Both the man who started the shop for Yamaha in Hamamatsu and Sudeo Yari, who started the shop in Kani, both these people were building gut string guitars by
Classical
hand,
guitars, yeah.
right? And taking them personally into the European building competitions for classical guitars. This is 100 years ago.
Mhm.
And guess what? They were winning. They were winning against Spain and France and all the great builders. These Japanese guys walked in and went and
Hold
tore
my
it up,
beer, watch
tore
this.
it up,
Yeah.
right? So that their whole legacy is built on nylon string guitars. So if you like, I mean, the first great classical guitar I ever played was a Yamaha in the high school, and it was black. It was the most badass guitar. Holy crap! It was a school guitar. It was on loan to all the music students, and me and one other guy, John Higney, used to fight over who was going to take that guitar home for the weekends. And we used to fight over it. Like, come on, you had it last week. No, I got to have this. And that guitar, I don't know whatever happened to it. Probably got busted into pieces over years. But my God, that was a great guitar. It was just as good as anything I've ever heard. And like today, I play a Cordoba, which is another great Chinese company that just makes amazing classical guitars.
Mhm.
And then I also have a Ramirez, which was built by him shortly before he passed on. And I'll never part with that. That's signed by Lightfoot, that guitar. But, like, you still, to this day, like Tim Eadie plays one of their neo-classical guitars that I gave him.
Mm-hmm.
It was given to me for endorsement, and I didn't have a use for it. I wasn't playing it live, and I felt it was going to waste. And so I gave it to Tim, and he's playing it ever since. That's 12 years ago. And that I just saw that guitar with him at Shetland. It was flawless, right? There's no beating it. So yeah, Yamaha, Yeri, all those Japanese builders.
Precision.
You
like
cannot,
everything.
you can't beat it. Can't beat it. Next. Next.
A highlighted chat from Jim Waller.
Jim
Hey.
Waller. I'm gonna
Wednesday.
see him soon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice.
He's coming to Nashville.
Oh, nice. He says, JP, I can't believe you say you don't have a good voice. You have a very original and powerful delivery. Your range surprised me, big guy. 2 snaps up.
I used to have a good voice until I tore my goddamn throat out singing with Gunning last winter.
Which
Don't
is
have it
funny
anymore.
because Mark Smith says, JP and Gunning, now that's a voice.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
is a good
it
voice.
takes 2 of us to make one at this point. Connects.
Super chat from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Mr. Stephen Becker.
The required wardrobe comment. He says, I love Chris's Tree of Many Penises shirt.
They're cacti.
They're cacti.
You ball-soaking idiots.
Yeah.
Next.
Highlighted chat from Corey McCormick.
Corey McCormick.
He says, how about offering a one-time fee for Master Music Method? It would have to be extraordinarily high.
Yeah, I would cost you $1 million.
I just confirmed this with Steven. There is a 1-year fee.
Oh yeah,
You
you
do
can
year
buy
by
you
year,
can
so
buy
you're not
year by
paying every
year,
month.
and you end up getting a couple of months free.
2,
See, see, well, here's the thing, right, guys? Let's be real for a second. If you go to Long and McQuaid or the Conservatory or any place in Guitar Center, any place in the world to get private lessons, they're not private. You're walking into a music store and you're hanging around there, and you're one of 20 people who's gone in to see this poor bastard in one day, and you're paying $50 an hour.
Yeah.
Right? $50 an hour. Okay? And here's what else happens. When you walk in there and sign up, they go, we want 4 weeks in advance. Okay?
So there's 200 beans.
And then you're sitting at home and there's a snowstorm. Or your cat pukes up a hairball. Or your kid falls at school, or some life happens and you can't get to the lesson.
But you still have to pay the 50
Guess
bucks.
what?
Already
You
paid.
don't get the $50 back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm charging a 10% of what it costs to go get live lessons. And when you look at my lectures, you might as well be in the room with me, because it's exactly what I show you, except the benefit is you're actually seeing my hands from your own perspective. That was always the selling point that I wanted for my lessons back 20 years ago when I was trying to design this for release on DVD. But the internet has made things so much more easy and possible. So for $25 a month to get the kind of access you're getting to these videos that are shot in this way, man, it's a deal. Like, it's the big. I don't know how I could give you any better deal.
And you can still communicate directly
And you
with
can still talk to us.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing live things once a month with all 4 categories of instruments. Eventually, we're probably going to even have guest lecturers on. We've been talking about that. And so, yeah, I just don't think there's any need of even looking at something less than $25 a month. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's 10% of what you'd pay if you went to your local teacher or store or whatever. This you do in the comfort of your own home. You can loop the videos. You can watch them over and over again. You can pause them, slow them up and down. We're going to add all these features to it, and I just don't feel bad about $25.
No.
No, I don't think he's asking for a discount. I think he's just asking for like
A longer term.
he just wanted to pay once.
Oh, pay. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
But a lifetime, it would have to be like
You'd have to do something special for us,
the annual fee times 10.
like build me a statue of Jack
How about a
Statue of
marble?
Jack.
holding a hot dog,
How about a marble bust of,
Jack
of
eating
yourself?
spaghetti.
eating spaghetti. Yeah, I see what you mean now. But I'm glad you took me down that road, because people still are like, $25 a month. Are you kidding?
From the comfort of your own home.
Are you kidding? 25 bucks
Think
a
of the
month?
gas you're saving.
Yeah. Once you pay the
Saving
$200 for
$25
the
gas.
lessons,
Yeah.
which you can't go back and watch again, the guy doesn't let you videotape it.
Right.
Right? And you're screwed. You
Yeah.
get your $200 a month gone. You get a few pieces of tablature or music or whatever, and you're still on your own.
Yeah.
Never on your own with me.
That's mastermusicmethod.com.
Seriously,
We should probably push this.
seriously, it is a really good. It's a
Yeah.
really good site, and it's a work of a labor of love for me that I've been working on my entire life.
You've had it for years. And
Well, it
years and
isn't
years.
just that. I've been teaching people
Yeah.
since I was 20, right? So it's a long time ago, and I always wanted people to be able to access. It's so hard. The whole premise of the site is how guitar players learn as they work for years and make a breakthrough. Oh, great! Oh, then they work another year, make another breakthrough. Taking all the years out and just showing everybody the breakthroughs back to back. Right? Here's what you needed to know. You would have worked on this for a couple of years, but I'm telling you now.
This is what to do to get to that next
Right.
breakthrough.
Yeah. Oh no, here's the breakthrough. Here's what you would have learned if you'd have worked 6 months, right? That's the whole idea.
You still have to practice.
You gotta practice.
Yeah.
There's no way, and that's one of the things, like even in the commercial we say it, we don't make promises we can't keep. You can't play guitar in 6 weeks. You can't.
Yeah.
You can play, but you can't be a great player. You need to practice every day.
You can put time in.
Every day, and it's rewarding as hell. It's the best thing ever when you sit down on the guitar every day and just clears your mind of everything, and you make the breakthrough, and you're like, wow, I can do this now. And that makes you practice more, and then you come back and learn something else. Oh, Jesus, I can do this now.
Then you pick up the fiddle.
Yeah,
And you-
then all of a sudden you're a one-man octopus band.
Yeah.
Octopus band.
Connects. We're gonna get the hell off here.
Turn a corner.
Yeah. They're going to shut us down.
Highlighted chat from Ralph Proscia.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Back again.
Hey, Ralph.
Have you seen this new invention to attach strings to a guitar? It passes the bridge pins. It's called a tone bar.
I seen rumblings of it. I don't think there's any better way to attach strings to guitars than having the ball end hooked up against this bridge plate. That's the whole idea of the bridge plate and the system that's in place, right? I know that there's some other systems that even fit in the hole, and the string hooks on something outside the bridge altogether.
Yeah.
It's pointless. You're not touching the bridge plate anymore. So, in my opinion, as a guitar player for 50 years, you can't beat the connection of the string to the inside of the guitar, no matter what. There might be more convenient things and cool looking things, but they are not going to make you.
It's gimmick.
They're not going to make your guitar
it's a gimmick.
anything better.
Look at the break angle of your strings.
Right, there is
Right.
none with
Yeah.
those. It comes flat off the thing right to the. Yeah,
Right.
you can't do it.
No.
It's just bullshit. Okay, next.
It's super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker.
Baker's got the wallet open.
Commenting on
He's going to get kicked off in a minute for doing
the
the super chat.
commenting on the nerd turd. He says Fluffy Bunny learns arithmetic.
What?
What?
Fluffy Bunny learns
Fluffy
arithmetic.
Learned what?
Arithmetic.
Okay, next.
Tim Bennett is here with a super chat.
Oh, that boy,
Hey.
Tim.
Still over in India. He says, "Good job, guys." Referencing the nerd turd.
Love you, buddy.
Nerd.
Okay, next.
Erd.
Super chat from Jamie Reed.
Jamie Reed.
When I was learning to play, I used to think my tuner was broken because the B was always sharp.
Yeah.
Now I know they do that.
There you go. You're welcome.
Right on.
Okay, next.
Mark Smith says we need nerd turd shirts.
Nerd turd. Yeah, it's going to be like nerd, T-E-R-D, turd.
Or
With a little
N-U-R-D,
emoji guy with
T-U-R-D.
the poop with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Nerd turd.
The cactus shirt.
Yeah, it'd be all like little
Yeah.
poop guys. Yeah. Okay, next.
Another super chat from Stephen Baker.
Steven Becker.
He says, I figured out Geeksby exists so Ginger can take a piss.
What?
It's break time for me.
Yeah, so
Oh.
she could go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Okay. She can let Jack out.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
And then back in. Super chat from Josh Fogel.
Oh, Josh, how you
Wow.
doing, buddy?
He says, final Yamaha for you, JP. Am I gaining anything other than nicer nut and saddle and better finish with an FS5 over the 3? Thoughts on the $500 difference?
Between FS and
5 and 3.
It's hard to say. They're built at different factories. The 5 is built at the quasi-handmade factory, and the 3 is built at the regular factory.
The line factory.
The line factory.
Yeah.
So, it's no way to tell. The only way to tell is to go into a store and play them. And whatever one you like best, that's one to buy. The price is not going to have anything to do with it. It's going to be what guitar feels best in your hands.
So there's no intrinsic benefit to one over the other.
There isn't. They're basically the same guitar. They're all made of mahogany, solid mahogany. As far as I know, the 3s are solid, and they have a satin finish. They both have the same satin finish.
Appointed the same.
Same, except the 5 has a fake sticker
Yeah.
on the pick guard. It's supposed to look like wood, but if you pull the sticker off, it's just a black plastic pick guard, which is a bit dumb on Yamaha's part. I don't know why they did that. I think it's because they weren't sure of their wood supply for that type of wood.
Right.
But it even feels like wood. I don't know what the hell they made that out of, but it looks and feels like wood. Like
until you pull it off.
Raw, unfinished wood.
Right.
Well, you can't pull it off unless it starts to come off on its own.
Okay.
It'll start to bubble, but mine never did. I had mine for 4 years, no problem. So,
and it's just a standard Tommy Hunter under there.
yeah, it's just a plain black pickguard under there. So, my suggestion to you, as I tell everybody, is you got to go play them.
Yeah.
You can't. I would never order anything that's out of any factory without playing it, right? Even if it's a partial handmade, like the 5s are just, there's more attention paid to the 5s. You got to play them. You'd never know what you get until you get your hands on it. So that goes for any company, except for boutique builders. So, next.
Question from 3-Card Monty.
3-Card Monty.
Will you be appearing with Gunning at this summer's Philadelphia Folk Festival?
Not that we know of. We're both going to be there, but for some reason they booked us separately. So I don't know if we'll ever play there together. We will be there at the same time.
Maybe a Lee surprise appearance.
Next.
Supplies.
Any more super chats?
Supplies. Yes. One from Stephen Baker.
Yep.
He says, free lifetime Master Music Method membership if you build up the J.P. Cormier Center for Music in Spring Hill, Nova Scotia that's tall enough to overshadow all the other buildings in my town. My treat.
Is that the last one?
Wow.
Last one?
That is the last super chat.
Okay, the question tonight is, what is the scale length of Boucher guitars?
How long is the string?
How long is the string?
It was the question.
Yeah. So that's the question. How long is what is the Boucher guitar scale length? Have a right one there by now. We're only taking one tonight, boys.
Only
All
one?
right.
Yep.
We're only doing number 29.
Number 29.
All right. Well, the first is Kenny Holden. Is he on there yet?
Oh yeah.
Kenny, no, that's not him.
Yeah, he's right there.
Is he?
What was the
he
answer?
is.
25.4.
That's wrong.
Okay. 25.5.
There you go.
That is Shell Beans.
Oh, Shell Beans.
It's on there, isn't it?
No, but she was from here last year. You're number 29, Shell Beans. And there you go. There's another String Theory.
In the books.
In
We're
the
not
books.
here next week, or the week after,
No.
or the week after.
Really?
No.
3 weeks.
It's going to be a while.
We're on the road.
Gone for a while.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play Jerry Hollander off my phone.
Nice.
Special thanks to all of you for being here with us every Wednesday night. Chris Coote, the lovely Ginger. I'm JP Cormier. Don't forget to go look at all of our partners. Say hello to all of them. Go online. Say howdy. Sign up for mastermusicmethod.com.
That's mastermusicmethod.com.
And keep jp-cormier.com, our website, to check my tour dates, because I'm going to be out on the road now for the next 100 years. So, come find me. Love you. Tiny Jerry.
Little Jerry.